What's going on, Couch Fam? For those that don't know who I am, my name's Hussein the Brain, and these are my fantasy football sleepers for 2020. For the best draft videos, the best strategy videos, best waiver wire pickup videos, and best fantasy football live streams, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so you won't miss anything. In the last video, my 2020 rankings video, we focused on the top 5 and top 20 players at each position. In this video, we're going to be focusing on those mid-round and late-round gems, those absolute sleepers that are going to help you win your league. I truly believe when it comes to quarterbacks, leagues are going to be transitioning into SuperFlex and dual quarterback leagues. The QB position is just so deep that in a one QB league, you can stream quarterbacks successfully in all leagues. Like, it just doesn't make sense that the QB position is so devalued. So next year, maybe we start seeing more and more Superflex leagues. We're already seeing that a little bit. This year, 2 of my leagues have transitioned into a Superflex league. Nonetheless, I still have some good value quarterbacks and some sleeper quarterbacks for you. Matt Ryan is going in round 7 to round 8. He's an absolute value. He's going to be much better this year. It's an even year. We know how good he is on those even years and how bad he is on those odd years with Hayden Hurst, Calvin Ridley looking beastly already in training camp, and Julio Jones, who's an elite wide receiver. I think the Falcons really believe they can win a Super Bowl this year as long as they stay healthy, as long as they play well and avoid quarantine. They have a realistic shot of winning the Super Bowl. They're going for this thing, and I think Matt Ryan's an absolute steal that late and a safe pick. A good and safe pick that late. Then we have Carson Wentz, who's kind of the opposite. Carson Wentz has more upside than Matt Ryan. I really believe he can be a top 5 quarterback, but he is much more riskier. Already missing 2 offensive linemen. Already Jalen Reagor's injured, out 4 weeks. There's so much risk with Wentz. Wentz is more injury prone than the average quarterback. Just one more major injury and this whole Eagles team could implode. I don't have any stock in Wentz this year, but I don't hate it. If he's fallen to round 9 and maybe even later, I can see the risk being worth it in a couple of your leagues. I just wanted to really mention just how risky he is, though, and how much upside he does have. He is going late, though. Round 9 is not too bad. Then we have Stafford, who's going almost a full round after Carson Wentz. I see this as much less riskier. Looking back at the film in 2019, a lot of analysts have been talking about, oh, Stafford's a good pick. He's a sleeper pick, you know. He's one of those guys that can fall under the radar. I'm like, whatever, he's a lion. I kind of brushed it off. I mean, I guess I'm a human, and you know, that was my mistake. When I went back and looked at some more film, Stafford was looking like the best he's ever been. Stats definitely play a big part in what I do, but also just my gut feeling, the coaches, their surrounding teammates, their situation, and really how good they are. And Stafford looked like a gunslinger. He looked like he was, in just the eyeball test, he looked like he's the best Stafford he's ever been last year until he got hurt. And so I am jumping on board and saying that Stafford is a good pick. And this just goes to show how deep the quarterback position is. Right now, Stafford is about QB 14 on my list. Could easily go up to QB 12 or 11. Yeah, super easy. I think you can get a QB 1 at a QB 2 price. That's what Stafford is. Now we're getting more into sleepers, players that are drafted much later, and that's Danny Dimes. He's going nearly in round 10 ADP. Daniel Jones is actually a really good rushing quarterback, at least the stats say so. He's a good scrambler. He's quick. He'll get you those sneaky rush yards. 21.5 rush yards per game last year. But here's really my only knock on him is the 18 fumbles. I mean, that's insane. I don't did anyone ever accomplish this feat or this disaster? 18 fumbles, and he didn't even play 16 games last year. He did not play that much. 18 fumbles and lost 11 of them. Has absolutely no awareness when it comes to the pass rush. He's completely oblivious of it. He's trying to make plays down the field, and I don't blame him for that, but you got to keep those numbers down, dude. Get me to at least 7 fumbles at most. We can't be having 18 fumbles. That's like 2 per game. You just can't do that. But he should be able to improve that. And that's really my knock on him. We've seen a lot of great, elite, maybe even Hall of Fame quarterbacks have way worse rookie years than Danny Dimes. So the upside is there. He's got Saquon Barkley. I hated Jason Garrett as a head coach. Now that he's the OC on the Giants, let's see how he's going to do. Maybe he's an okay OC. I'm really excited to see how Danny Dimes is going to do. He's a guy that if he falls, I'm drafting him as my QB1 in SuperFlex leagues. You can sometimes find value there. And in SuperFlex leagues, he's going sometimes round 8. And I love that. That is tremendous value because you get him round 8 in SuperFlex. But in a 1 QB league, he's going just 2 rounds after that, round 10. So if you get him in round 8 in the Superflex, amazing. Round 7 even isn't too bad in the Superflex. That means he's falling. Drew Lock, sort of like Carson Wentz, just a huge question mark. But I mean, we've seen Wentz have an MVP type of year as long as he stayed healthy that year. Drew Lock is just, we have no idea what we're going to get. I like what I'm seeing out of him, but with that small sample size last year, it's a complete unknown. A good part is they invested a lot in that offense. Melvin Gordon, he's become a really good pass catching running back in the NFL. They went and got my favorite wide receiver in the draft, Jerry Jeudy, favorite wide receiver prospect. They also got KJ Hamler, total speedster, good value draft pick for that Broncos team. And so they got a lot of weapons. They got Fant, they got Cortland Sutton, who's really good. He's an amazing wide receiver, great catch radius. So with all this combined, I think Drew Lock can do some things. Again, we don't really care about quarterbacks in 1 QB league, so maybe Drew Lock falls and you take him round 14. Maybe he doesn't, and I don't care. One guy I do care about, though, is Gardner Minshew. I have him in, I don't know, maybe a third of my leagues because he's going super late. He's going to get you a ton of rush yards. He's going to do everything. It's him and Chark all day long. And now that they also added Laviska, they added Chris Thompson, they added Tyler Eifert, and now minus Leonard Fournette, who's kind of not a sexy part of that offense. He did get a lot of touches, a lot of snaps, but he's long gone. I think his offense is going to be even more fun, and you get those rush yards. That's a huge bonus for quarterbacks. Also, the team's not that good. They're going to be playing from behind. We're going to see a lot of pass plays, a lot of garbage times. Gardner Minshew is probably my favorite QB2 to target, both in 1 QB leagues and Superflex. I'm rolling with this man as my QB2 in Superflex all day, every day. Jimmy Garoppolo is my next guy, 14.06. Not the sexy pick, not amazing. Now, when my voice gets really high and I get really excited, those are the guys that I really like. So the last one, my number 1 quarterback sleeper is Gardner Minshew. For those that say I name a bunch of names, I just want to be clear. I just like talking about other players and trying to help you win and convey how I feel. So yeah, I don't have an exact list of draft these 5 sleepers and do it. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. And so Jimmy Garoppolo is not the sexy pick, but he's a guy that can really fall. You don't want to draft him in 1 QB leagues, that's for sure. But he's going undrafted in a lot of leagues, and I'm targeting him as my QB3 in all my Superflex leagues. He's an amazing QB3. He's got the coach. He's got the team. Hopefully his receivers will get a little bit more healthier. He's got George Kittle. Maybe those running backs contribute to the passing game a little bit more. Jerick McKinnon just might play a down in the NFL in a Niners uniform. And oh boy, might that be good under that Shanahan system. He had some really beastly games last year, so he did show us that upside. He had a game with 28 fantasy points, 4 touchdowns that game, another 4 touchdown game with 31 fantasy points, and another 4 touchdown game with 29 fantasy points. So we have seen that he has some upside. Just unfortunately, I'm not trying to overhype him. Like I said, he's not worth it in 1 QB leagues. Just you're better off just not even having a backup if you're debating Jimmy Garoppolo in round 13. Draft someone else. I get that. But in Superflex leagues, you get Jimmy G as your QB3. He's an absolute steal. He's undervalued. Now, there's going to be a lot of games where the Niners defense and run game take over. And I'm okay with that. And that's all boiled in. It's all in his ADP, which is pretty much undrafted, so you'll be good with Jimmy G. Now, my fourth QB I'm always targeting in SuperFlex. I'm rolling with this guy as my QB5, my QB4 in SuperFlex. Absolutely love it. It's Nick Foles. Now, how good is Nick Foles? Some people think he's garbage. Some people think he's pretty good. Whatever. I don't care what the people think. Let's just say he's average. Anything is better than Trubisky. Actually, it's a huge, significant upgrade from Trubisky. Foles has been doing a lot better in camp. They didn't pick up Trubisky's fifth-year option. Trubisky plays at about a high school varsity level. That's his quarterback IQ. Matt Nagy can't even call the right plays. When he calls bold plays, Trubisky always screws it up. On top of that, when Trubisky does make the right read, which is very rare, he's inaccurate. So yeah, I love his athleticism, and I did recognize he had some good NFL potential, but it didn't work out. It's done. He's an NFL bust. As of right now, I guess there's another year to prove it. I'm not buying it though. I think they traded for Nick Foles for a reason. I believe Nick Foles is going to start. I'd say 99% chance Nick Foles will start week 1. If I'm wrong, he'll probably start really soon. Think about this. All right, Trubisky starts week 1. Let's say I'm wrong, that 1% chance. Trubisky starts week 1. How long do you think that's going to last? Not long at all. The Bears' defense is good. They're trying to win a Super Bowl, and Nick Foles is going to give them the best shot. Love him as my QB4 in SuperFlex. There aren't too many running back sleepers to get into the late rounds. It's just a fact. But there are some. It's just that all the good running backs are gone. Round 4, round 5, round 6. They're all gone. Sometimes they fall to round 7. That's cool. But realistically, they're all gone, and you better have 2 or 3 running backs early, or else you're just going to be playing running back roulette. It's not going to be looking good for your team. A.J. Dillon sometimes fall into round 11, sometimes 12, sometimes 13 and beyond, because a lot of people think he's an unsexy running back. I think he's solid. I think Matt LaFleur knows what he's doing and is going to use A.J. Dillon, not the best pass-catching running back. So he gets a small boost in non-PPR leagues. I think he'll be a good goal line back. At that value, how could you resist that? You're getting A.J. Dillon in round 12 in a 12-team league, and he'll be decent. Like, he'll probably be able to be a flex start for most weeks. I'm not saying he's going to be that great. Okay, we're talking in the late rounds. But his upside, if Aaron Jones were to miss even one game, is going to be so... You're going to be like, oh, thank God I drafted A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones is out 1.5 games or 1 game. Wow, that's so cool. I got A.J. Dillon at the end of round 12. How does that sound? That sounds great to me. The 30th pick of the second round of the NFL draft, the Packers made a huge splash and drafted him. They're going to use him. Absolutely love A.J. Dillon. Round 13, Bryce Love. That's where he's going. I'm not sold on this pick at all, but one reason I do love him, I feel like you're going to drop this guy really quick, or you're going to know I'm keeping this guy for sure. And so I love these type of players to where, okay, they're injury prone or they're risky. That's cool. I'm getting him in round 13. He's so underrated. As of right now, he's the second running back on that depth chart, right behind Adrian Peterson, who AP I still like, but I mean, he is old and he's getting towards the ends of his career. It's not like there's that much between him and a starting role. And sure, Antonio Gibson's the sexy pick, the one that's more flashy. He's not going to get that many snaps at running backs. He's going to be using the slot. He's going to be more of a gadget player. Pretty good in PPR, but Gibson is going a few rounds ahead of Bryce Love. Believe it or not, Gibson's actually going to round 8 in some leagues, sometimes round 7 for those fantasy snobs who like to draft those sexy picks. And that's just insane, as you get Bryce Love in round 11, round 14. Right now his ADP's round 13. Might as well take a risk. Right after that, we got Jerick McKinnon, who's going a few spots after Bryce Love. Now, there's so many ways that McKinnon can fail, including another injury. But with Shanahan, you're playing PPR. He's worth a flyer. He can always produce if he's healthy. And another guy, just like Bryce Love, if something happens, we can drop them instantly and free up a spot. It's those mediocre players that you have to keep that actually kill you. That's how you finish 8th place. That's how you finish 6th place. Those mediocre players. That kills you like none other. Because 6th place is the exact same as finishing in 11th place. There's no difference. I'm trying to get 1st place. Probably my favorite sleeper. I think this guy's the sexy pick. I think this guy is just underrated. He's the underdog, and oh boy, I wish I came out with this video before, because I have him in just about every single league. That's Joshua Kelly. Oh my god. Austin Eckler, yeah, I'm a fan. I'm taking Austin Eckler early round 2. I'm cool with that. I'll take him 12th overall. I'll take Austin Eckler 13th overall. That's pretty much round 1 right there. That's cool. Not hating on Austin Eckler, but let me tell you this. Austin Eckler didn't get too many rush yards last year, okay? He actually got a ton of receiving yards. He'll be used in the slot. He'll be used in the passing game. Amazing receiver that can take it to the house. He's got that top end speed. He's explosive. And he'll get his carries. Eckler, I'm talking about. He might get only, guys, 10 carries, 15 carries a game, maybe 16 if you're lucky. Who's going to be the real RB2 here? It's going to be Joshua Kelly. He's more talented than Justin Jackson. Justin Jackson is no good. He's already impressing in camp. Beat reporters are like, phew, he's going to be the RB2. Like, it's pretty obvious. And guys, maybe 30% of snaps, maybe 15% of snaps, maybe 10%, I don't know. But a certain percentage of snaps, we might see Joshua Kelly and Eckler on the field at the same time. You see how my voice is getting? That's why I love Joshua Kelly so much. And yeah, I do love A.J. Dillon, but A.J. Dillon's round 12. Joshua Kelly is mid-round 14. How do you not draft this guy? Last sleeper running back that's actually growing on me, had to do a little bit more research, is Anthony McFarland. And it's really because, look, this is a messy backfield situation. It's ugly. It's ugly as hell. But in some leagues, people that are fans of Anthony McFarland, he'll be going very early. Anthony McFarland will go round 10, round 11. But in other leagues, his ADP actually is the lowest out of all this list. It's 14.06 is his current ADP. So that means he's going undrafted in a 10-team league. You can get this guy super late. Right now, he's the third running back, okay? You got James Conner, who's pretty good in a good situation, but they'll monitor his carries and touches, and he's injury prone. Then behind him, you have Benny Snell. He's not that good. And then Jalen Samuel's pretty much out of the picture. So right now, McFarland's the RB3. I think he'll be, one fart and one pee, and Anthony McFarland will be RB2. And if anything happens to James Conner, boom, you got yourself a top 15 running back. What do people say? He can be a league winner. You're probably not triggered so far in this video, and you're not angry. Well, these wide receivers will sure to get your blood boiling. Number 1, I got Will Fuller, whose ADP is mid-round 7 in a 12-team PPR. But I wouldn't take him there because he's getting so much hate. People think he won't play more than 3 or 4 games, which is fair assessment, but I'm willing to take that risk. People think he's going to get injured tomorrow. He's going to get injured by the time I upload this video. That's what people think about it. That's what, that's just what's going around. That's why he's going so all over the place. So yeah, even though his ADP is round 7, I've never seen him go there in my league. So he's going round 8, okay? Sometimes round 9, but more like late round 8. When it's late round 8, pull the trigger. Even if he plays only 10, 11 games, 13 games, he's going to be well worth it. I actually think that Fuller is going to be the number 1 wide receiver on the Texans in terms of fantasy points. He's going to get the most fantasy points on the Texans out of that position. He's definitely worth a flyer at 8.10, 8.11. Pull the trigger. Next up is Justin Jefferson going mid-round 11. Right now, he's the wide receiver 3, but he's so dang talented. Once he gets some real life reps, plays maybe 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, he'll take over that number 2 spot. I mean, he's already going to be starting in 3 wide receiver sets, I imagine. Maybe even 2 wide receiver sets, depending on the personnel. A lot of 2 tight end sets will be used on the Vikings, I suspect. Regardless, the talent is there. Stephon Diggs is gone. Justin Jefferson arrives. and takes over the Diggs role just like that? Do I agree with that narrative? Actually, yes, I do. He's a rookie. It might take some time, but he's going to take over the Stephon Diggs role. I think he's going to be amazing at it. I think the Vikings kind of know what they're doing. Maybe I doubted them a little bit. I think that organization knows what they're doing. With that Yannick trade, and they drafted Justin Jefferson. I kind of like where this team's headed. Now, my favorite sleeper is Anthony Miller. I think people know that I like him, and so unfortunately, I'm not able to get him in a lot of leagues. He's going mid-round 12, yet in the leagues I'm playing in, he's always going round 9 and 10. Come on, that's so crazy. But for you, who they don't know about the Couch Fam, he's going round 12, guys. That means he's going round 13 sometimes. That's so late. That's several rounds after Justin Tucker goes. And why is he going so late? Because he's a Chicago Bear, and people like to make fun of the Bears. They like to make fun of Trubisky. They like to make fun of the double doink. This is a true sleeper, a true non-sexy pick on a team that everyone loves to make fun of. He's the number 2 option in this pass game. Allen Robinson is going to get all the attention. They're not going to use the tight end position, at least I don't think too much. They have a lot of them, but Jimmy Graham's the number 1 tight end. I mean, they got Tariq Cohen. Taylor Gabriel's not there anymore. And Anthony Miller, I think, is realizing what it means to become a pro. He's taking this offseason very seriously. And with my boy Nick Foles starting at quarterback, oh my God, I'm getting so pumped talking about Anthony Miller. Absolute steal. Don't wait till round 12, folks. Draft him in round 11, please. Don't wait on this guy. Even round 10 could be worth it in PPR leagues. 2 deep league sleepers that are going undrafted. You guys in 16 team leagues are going to love me. Chase Claypool, who I think is the best value Steeler wide receiver. So I think the best value Steelers wide receivers, Chase Claypool. Second best value is Dante Johnson. And least is Juju Smith-Schuster, who I know it's crazy because he's going at a good spot, but there's so many really good wide receivers in round 4. Why would I take Juju when I can get Chase Claypool in round 17? That's how late he's going. And I know a lot of you guys don't even draft more than 16 rounds. He's going undrafted. Chase Claypool has the touchdown upside. He's got the size. He is an amazing run blocker, so he's going to get you those snaps. And his main competition is James Washington, who's absolute trash. Chase Claypool, target him as one of your later picks. You won't be sorry. And another guy I like is Steven Sims. I believe he's also slated to be the return man for the Washington football team. So for you guys that are in return yards, Steven Sims is still a little bit underrated even in those type of leagues. He's going to be good after the catch. He's going to be used as a gadget player. They're really thin at receiver. That's why Gibson's going to get some snaps. At some point, he's going to get some snaps. He's going to get some targets. They're going to use Antonio Gibson. They have to. But Steven Sims is going to be more of the traditional wide receiver. He's going to be starting a super sleeper. And you can get Steven Sims even later than Chase Claypool, maybe like round 18. More than ever, tight ends are a complete crapshoot. After Kittle and Kelsey go, after Ertz and Andrews go, after those 4, you're either going to overpay for a tight end or you're just going to, it's going to be kind of random. It's just the truth. And so I named a lot of tight ends for you. If you can draft 3 tight ends, you have enough bench spots, you're in some kind of weird league, draft 3 of them. I know it's crazy. A lot of you might not be able to do it. I certainly haven't in most of my leagues, but if you can, I would urge you to try to draft 3. I really feel like 1 out of 3 will for sure hit. And if you draft 2, you got a good chance. You got about a 66% chance 1 out of those 2 sleepers will hit. But it's a crapshoot. Round 10 right now, Hayden Hurst is going. Now, unfortunately, he's actually going in round 7 and 8 in a lot of leagues that are high on Hayden Hurst. He's my tight end 5. I'm always looking at the next best tight end. So, of course, some people will think that I'm ranking him too high. And that's totally fine. I'm always looking for the next big tight end and not drafting the best tight end from last year. I think that's how you win your league. All the owners who won my leagues last year, 100% of them all had a good value tight end. One guy won my league, had both Waller and Hooper. Another guy won the league, had Andrews. One had Higbee, who, you know, was an excellent waiver gem those last 5 or so games. They all had a great time. Matter of fact, the team that had Higbee had no other players. Just Higbee took him to the Super Bowl and he won. So always be looking for that next value tight end. And you might have to attack this with quantity since realistically we don't know who that's going to be. But I'm trying to narrow it down the best I can for you guys. So Hayden Hurst is going round 10. Love him. But he's going a little early in some leagues. Then we got Mike Gesicki, who I might reach for sometimes. He's going in round 12, so that's great. I'd be definitely okay with you drafting him in round 9 or 10. That's how high I am on him. And then these are my favorites right here. Jonnu Smith going round 13. Sure, it's the same with all these tight ends. Sometimes they go super early, sometimes they go super late. In leagues where they like to play it safe and draft on the big name guys, you know, like Waller and Ertz, old school tight ends that have proven it. A guy like Jonnu might slip. He is going to be wide open on some plays. Ryan Tannehill is going to be super efficient. Defenses are going to be trying to defend Derrick Henry. Jonnu's going in round 13. Also right next to him is Jack Doyle. Trey Burton just suffered an injury. Jack Doyle and Phillip Rivers can make some good, unsexy, unerotic music and put up some good fantasy points. Chris Herndon just got hurt. Should be super minor injury. I'm getting higher and higher on him by the second. Talk about a risky tight end. This guy's got a ton of upside. He could be the best receiver on the Jets, or the Jets could absolutely fail and do a bunch of weird stuff because the coach is Adam Gase. Chris Herndon could get suspended. Chris Herndon could get hurt. That's why it's a lot of risk, but low risk, high reward, right? Because he's going so late. He's a boom or bust player, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. But he does go undrafted in a lot of 12-team leagues. Take that risk as your tight end, too. A much more safer option would have been Blake Jarwin, who's not going undrafted. He's on the Cowboys. A lot of vacated targets, a lot of passing, a good offense. So Blake Jarwin should easily be able to be startable and get just so many receptions on that team with Dak Prescott chucking the ball. A couple undrafted guys are Ian Thomas and Dan Arnold. Now, Ian Thomas is going to be the tight end 1 for the Panthers. Don't really like him too much, but if you're in a bind for a tight end 2, and you really should draft a tight end 2 in most leagues, Ian Thomas could be there in round 16. And also in deep leagues and dynasty leagues, Dan Arnold is a cool flyer. Definitely not recommending you draft this guy in a 12-team league at all, or even a 14-team league. Went over defenses in great detail on the previous rankings video. I got a couple sleepers for you guys. My defense number 20, and keep in mind my defense like 10, 12, and 21 are not that big of a difference. So my 20th ranked defense is the Arizona Cardinals. After releasing Suggs, they've been looking a bit different last year, starting to put things together, going from awful to decent. They got Budda Baker, they got Patrick Peterson, Chandler Jones, and that's like got all 3 phases. And now they drafted super freak Isaiah Simmons, who's just a crazy defensive player at linebacker. So they have all 3 phases of this defense locked up. At least the upside is there. I think it's an absolute steal in deep leagues. You guys go to undrafted. Nobody's giving him respect. The absolute definition of a sleeper. Yeah, I'm getting excited about defenses, but that's how we win leagues, because these guys just go draft the best defense from last year, right? They reach for him in round 10 while we wait until round 16, draft a sleeper defense that ends up being better than that defense that was good last year. This happens all the time. All the time. It's going to happen again this year. 21, I got Washington football team. The front seven's been great. Matter of fact, these guys had the 4th most QB pressures last year out of any defense. 3rd most per drop back. That's crazy. They get so many pressures on the quarterback. Their secondary is slightly underrated. It's not that great. But now they got Chase Young. Could be the best pass rushing prospect we've seen in years. Clowney, Myles Garrett, sure, on that level. I think Chase Young is a better prospect than both those guys. Now, when I say that this gets confused, I just mean like if we were to, go back in time, hypothetically, and they were coming out of college the same year. I like Chase Young. I would like Chase Young more than Nick Bosa. Now, as of what we know right now, I'm taking Bosa, of course, because it's much less risky. He's proven. But if they were both coming out of college the same year, they were both 21, they both just finished their senior year in college, I would take Chase Young. I'd be like, I like this prospect more. So they got one hell of a player in Chase Young to that already underrated defense, that great front seven. Oh boy, my 21th ranked defense, but really they can be top 10 easily. I love this as one of your last picks. Guys, draft a defense second to last, draft a kicker in the absolute last round, or none at all. Platforms like Yahoo and Sleeper, you don't even have to draft these guys. So maybe draft one, not the other, whatever. ESPN forces you to draft them. I usually draft a kicker and then I drop them. But here's some kickers you want to target in round 16 or to pick up off free agency. Don't even put any budget or a waiver claim on a kicker. Get them for free. I know the sleepers. Here they are. Chris Boswell, extremely accurate. After he signed that contract, he kind of screwed up a bit and had a bad year. Other than that, this guy's kicking like 90%. He's out of his mind. With Big Ben back, he's on a good team that's going to settle for field goals. They're going to have the lead. Vegas projects them to have a good record. We all know the Steelers are a good team. They just needed a quarterback, and hopefully they'll have one this year in Big Ben. Only one issue with this guy, he doesn't have a big leg, so those 50+ yarders are not going to come, so no huge bonus. But what's better, right? We want a kicker that won't screw us. And Boswell, I think, is that guy. He'll be consistent. He'll put up 8 points a week, and I love it. He's not a popular kicker. He's not going to be going early. He'll be available in that last round. If you don't get him, don't worry. Don't stress about kickers at all. Don't get him. Get Jake Elliott. I mean, I don't even care. Like Elliott, Boswell, I really don't care which one I get. Jake Elliott's more complete, but he's on the Eagles, which is a team that is very risky. Like I said, one more injury, and I don't know what's going to happen to this team. But he's there. I think he can bounce back. He's a really good kicker. And my favorite sleeper kicker is Tyler Bass. Now, unfortunately, he's a rookie, and he is the type of kicker that might screw it up for your team, and he is risky, but we're talking about sleepers here. This is a sleeper video. If you want upside, you want the next best thing, the Bills cut Steven Hauschka to make way for Tyler Bass, who's a really good college kicker, and coming out of college, I liked other kickers better. But I'm about to talk about another one soon. It's not doing too well in camp. Tyler Bass is. So he's got that job on lock. I like the Bills offense. I like the Bills defense. With no Tom Brady in that division anymore, I like the Bills kicker even more. So yeah, Tyler Bass, I'm definitely down to draft him in a 16-team league. Have him as my starting kicker. I love to take those risks and prove those guys wrong who draft Justin Tucker in round 9. That's absolutely insane. Draft Harrison Butker in round 10. Nope, never doing that. Sorry, that's way too early for me. The Patriots rookie kicker, Justin R. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I forgot. He was one of my favorite sleepers, but right now he's kind of getting whooped in training camp by Nick Folk, who probably deserves this job. I imagine the rookie kicker is going to be on the practice squad. I don't know. Nonetheless, either one would be a good kicker. Whoever has the starting job right now is looking like Nick Folk. Leave a comment below with your favorite sleeper of the year. Only one. Give me one sleeper in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch. Subscribe to our second YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch Podcast. Hit this with a thumbs up or thumbs down. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next video / live stream. Good luck this year in fantasy, guys.